Executive Vice President of Cloud and AI, the legend himself, Scott Guthrie.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is great to be back here at Build. I'm really looking forward to spending the week with you. As Kevin and Satya have talked about today, AI is going to profoundly change how we work and how every organization operates. And every existing app is going to be reinvented with AI. And we're going to see new apps be built with AI that weren't possible before. And Kevin just walked us through the Copilot stack and explained the different layers involved in building solutions that take deep advantage of large AI models. I'm going to build on his talk and walk you through how we're going to make it easy to develop these AI solutions using Azure, GitHub, and Visual Studio. We're going to show a lot of code today in my talk and introduce you along the way to some amazing new capabilities that we're announcing and releasing here at Build. Let's start by talking about Visual Studio and GitHub. The Visual Studio family of products, which includes both Visual Studio as well as Visual Studio Code, are now the most widely used development tools in the entire world across all languages and platforms. And GitHub is used by over 100 million developers and is literally the home of open source. GitHub also now provides developers and enterprises with an integrated end-to-end developer platform that can be used to collaborate, automate, and secure DevOps solutions. And with GitHub, you can build amazing AI solutions, including all the Copilot capabilities that Kevin just talked about, and use it to transform your businesses. Now, one of the most exciting new capabilities that we've launched with GitHub is a new service we call GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot was the first solution that we built using the new transformational large AI models developed by OpenAI. And Copilot provides an AI pair programmer that works with all popular programming languages and dramatically accelerates your productivity. This spring, we announced a new update for GitHub Copilot that we call Copilot X. And Copilot X further enhances Copilot using the latest GPT-4 models and provides immersive Copilot chat functionality, Copilot for pull requests, and automatic unit test generation scenarios. It's truly amazing. And what I'd like to do is invite Thomas Dohmke, the CEO of GitHub, on stage to show it off in action. Please welcome Thomas.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hello, Build. It's so great to be here in person. I'm Thomas, and I'm a developer. And what we have witnessed this past year with GitHub Copilot has been a step change to developer productivity. Software has eaten the world, now it's AI's turn. But the autocomplete pair programmer has always been just the starting point. We swing the doors wide open to a new age when natural language powers the coding experience. And that begins with GitHub Copilot Chat, a key feature for GitHub Copilot X. So let's see some real code. For this demo scenario here, I've inherited some Python code from a coworker. It's pretty purely documented. We've all been there, right? With GitHub Copilot, I can simply write code by accepting code suggestions. So here's a little unit test, and I can just press the tab key a couple of times, and I've written a full unit test in 7 lines of code with no, learning the code and whatnot. But what I can do with Copilot is to provide additional context. I can't tell Copilot what I want, well, until now, because now we have Copilot Chat. It sits right here in Visual Studio Code. It suggests tasks based on natural language, and I can interact with it down here to both learn and build while I'm coding. So I have another file here, it's called unknown.py, and it has these 3 cryptic regular expressions. I have no idea what those are doing. Let's see if Copilot can explain them to us. Okay, Copilot is rendering my response. You can see here the first regular expression is validating email addresses, the second one is validating phone numbers, and the third one is validating strong passwords. Makes sense, I guess. So let's highlight this and make this code a bit more readable. Make this code more readable. And Copilot analyzes my code. You can see here, now my regular expressions get nice names, I get nice comments. It looks much better, but I think we can do even a little bit better to make the next person that takes this code understand it even more. So let's say we want to separate out the validation functions and add more comments. Okay, here's even better code. My regular expressions still have their good names, and I get 3 new methods, to validate email, phone number, and password. I think that's much better. So I can just scroll up here and take this code over, and now I have a much better documented file that I can pass into the next coworker. Okay, I got a third file, and this seems to be passing expenses. I got a third file, and this one seems to be passing expenses. Let's see if this actually works. Ooh, I got an error. It can't unpack the values. So let's see if Copilot can fix the bugs in my code. And so it says, there's a couple of issues. Seems like the split method is splitting the values as a comma separator, but in my comment here I had said I want the space separator. And then it also says, the datetime module is not imported, probably because I only highlighted the method. So if you look at here, the fix is in split, my fix here in split is here, so I can just go, of course, here. I'm still the pilot and fix this one method. And now my code runs. Cool. So while we're here, I can also ask Copilot to generate some unit tests for me, and I can do this with what we call / commands. So instead of typing, all this stuff on stage, I can just type tests. And now Copilot analyzes all the code pasted in my code. It looks at the comment, and you can see it here generating multiple unit tests for my class. In fact, there's one for invalid dates, one for invalid values, command line, single line, empty string. It does all that boilerplate code for me, all that boilerplate work for me that I don't want to do. And now I can take this, click this little 3 dots here, and insert this to a new file, and have a new unit test file. And I can, of course, now use Copilot and Copilot Chat to build this out even more. Well, thank you, Copilot, for doing all the work for me. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, when can I get my hands on all of this? And we want to bring this whole experience, all of Copilot X, as broadly as we can and as soon as possible, but right now we have quite the wait list. Well, don't worry, I have an Oprah moment for you. You get a free Copilot Chat, you get a free Copilot Chat. Everybody here right at Build in the audience gets early access to Copilot Chat today. Use Copilot and Copilot Chat both in Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code, and thank you so much for being here today. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Thomas. Thanks, Thomas. We're really excited to see what everyone here is able to do with GitHub Copilot. As you just saw, Copilot dramatically accelerates developer productivity. In fact, 46% of all lines of code written by developers that are using GitHub Copilot are now fully AI generated. 75% of developers using Copilot are feeling that they can now focus on more satisfying work. No one really loves debugging regular expressions, and you can now enjoy your jobs more. And 96% of developers report being able to complete repetitive tasks a lot faster. And we now have over 1 million developers using GitHub Copilot around the world today. And again, we're excited to have everyone here in the live audience be able to take advantage of the latest GitHub Copilot chat capability starting this week. Now, we've seen with Visual Studio, we've seen GitHub Copilot and Visual Studio in action. Let's now look at how we can use these incredibly powerful tools to start building AI plugins. And as you heard from Satya and Kevin, we're embracing an open plugin standard that provides plugin interoperability across ChatGPT and all of the Microsoft Copilot offerings. And with GitHub and Visual Studio, we have an incredibly streamlined developer experience for building these AI plugins. Let's watch a demo that shows all this off.
Plugins enable developers to integrate custom applications and data into the chat experience for users. Let's say we have an e-retail store that sells outdoor equipment. When a user asks a question about outdoor products within ChatGPT, we might want to provide them with a list of related products that are available. Now let me show you how easy it is to create a plugin using Visual Studio Code and GitHub. I could fork and clone the repo on my local machine, but instead I'm going to use GitHub Codespaces. Code Spaces are GitHub's